The overall paradigms of the West are so riddled with flaws that extracting any good from them, it's just not worth the trouble. It's really not worth the trouble, because it's very difficult to actually extract any good from them without bringing along the bad, because it's just bad that you haven't analyzed or examined or understood or recognized. But then once you get it, you'll find the infection will spread among your people. And you can't ignore the historical reality, the cultural reality, the economic reality, the political reality, and so forth of colonization. You can't ignore the impact that that has had and continues to have on us, and therefore the necessity of rejection of anything and everything that comes from them. It's a necessity. Even if you can say, okay, that's not fair and balanced, maybe there's some good and so forth. Okay, but in perfect conditions, we could engage in that. Yeah, if we didn't exist in the context in which we do live, which is their relentless domination and their subversion of our own understanding of our deen and our own societies and our own history, actively and relentlessly. If all of that context didn't exist, then okay, we can pick and choose. Then we have the intellectual autonomy to do that. But the reality is otherwise. And in my opinion, the reality dictates and requires and necessitates that we just blanket reject anything and everything that's coming from the West and that's coming from kuffar, in terms of their ideologies, in terms of their theories, and so forth. And we should not, and we should do, because this is what they do to us. Let's be honest. They don't have a discussion with us except within their framework, within their paradigms. They insist that any discussion that we have with them must be within their paradigms. For example, atheism. We can't have a discussion with them except on the premise that religion is a fairy tale that we choose to believe in. Any discussion that we have with them, we have to, because, okay, for us, Islam permeates everything. It's the framework of understanding anything and everything in our life, anything and everything in reality. We don't have a political discussion except that it's an Islamic discussion. We don't have an economics discussion except that it is an Islamic discussion. We don't talk about psychology except that it is an Islamic discussion. That's our framework. That's our paradigm. And we insist that if you're having a conversation or a discussion with us, it will be and it must be within that framework. We're not going to adopt your framework on any of these matters. You want everything to be atheistic and so-called secular, and we have to enter into the discussion assuming that you're right. That you're right in the way that you frame things. That you're right in believing that there's no God, for example, and that people just choose to believe in God. And your interpretation of what religion is, and that religion is just a man-made tool for manipulation and control, and so forth. Well, atheism is too. Your atheism is too. Just like it was for your religion. Your atheism is too. Just the same way that you came over and colonized with the Bible and with Christianity, now you're coming over and colonizing with atheism. Trying to make us accept, again, your framework and your paradigms and all of that, intellectually, religiously, socially, politically, morally, all of that. It's exactly the same. And this is very key. It's very key for Muslims to reject accepting to be involved in any conversation or any discussion that presumes atheism to be true, and that presumes Islam to be false, that presumes Islam to be a man-made fabrication. We can't. If those are the terms of the discussion, then there won't be one. We won't have a discussion with you, because that's already conceding all of the most important ground of our life. To just concede to you, okay, we accept that religion generally, including our own, is just a man-made fabrication. And the reason why you want to do that, especially with atheism, is the same reason why you wanted to do it in your own countries, in the West, why you wanted to do it in Europe and so on, to impose atheism on people and remove their belief in God so that you could be the gods.
Yeah.
And now that's the same reason why you want to do it to us. You want to impose upon us this acceptance that atheism is actually real and true and empirically provable and so on. And that religion, including Islam, is empirically dubious at best and so forth. According to you, kuffar, who don't believe in anything anyway, you want us to accept that belief so that you can become the authority over us. Because as long as we believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you can never be the authority over us, and that's driving you crazy.